Hey folks, welcome back. Hope you're all well and enjoying the channel. Last week's Craig Petty interview went down really well. Lots of views on that. Most of you are subscribed from it, I think, but there's a few stragglers that didn't subscribe. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. You never know, I might do another good interview at some point this year. But as always, I'm more concerned with the comments section down below being busy and active so that I know that you're watching. 500 odd viewers is more than enough to guilt me into getting my goals done, as long as you're talking down there in the comments so that I know that you're watching and that you're picking up stuff from the videos, getting what you need out of it and asking questions that you want answered. This week I've got another great interview for you with Mr. Wayne Goodman about his book Fearless or Fearless, all about self-confidence and stage fright and imposter syndrome and beating all those things. It's a really interesting interview, well worth a listen. We'll go and watch that in a minute. One of the things that surprised me as I've started this channel is I started it to make you guys watch me do my goals so that I would be forced to do them and you would get the information that I pass on to you from the various interviews. I was hoping a couple of people would also get inspired to do their own goals list, and it turned out quite a few have, more than I expected. Lots of comments in the comment section telling me they're going to join in on certain things, telling me their goals. Several people joining the Facebook group Magicians Level Up to chat along with me and discuss their goals and get the same sort of motivation that I'm getting from you. So as there are a lot of people joining the channel for that reason, that's sort of the stuff I wanted to discuss this week at the beginning here. Specifically telling you to just do it. Whatever your goal is, do it. One of the goals in my first 12 weeks on this channel was to get an appointment to see the doctor, to get my eczema or psoriasis checked out, because I've had it all over for nearly a decade, and the fact that it was on my hands now really did drag me down and make me feel depressed. Even I didn't realise quite how much it bothered me that it was on my hands as a professional magician. I thought this was going to take ages. This was the goal that I did not think I was going to complete in 12 weeks. I thought it would take 12 weeks to get through to the doctor's receptionist to get an appointment, and then I would have to be referred to a dermatologist, and it would take years to even try to get this sorted out, and modern medicine would fail me as always, and there would be nothing for them to do. In actual fact, I phoned up the doctor at 10 a.m, got an appointment for 1:40 p.m, went in, had a half an hour appointment, got a new substitute shower gel recommendation and some medication for 4 weeks. I've been on that medication for 1 week. If you watch the Caroline Raven interview that I did in week 1, every so often my hands come into view. They are scarred looking, they are blotched with red on the back, peeling skin, cracking skin, all across the wrist, all across the knuckles and the back of the hand. 1 week in, you can still see the pink on camera. I can see that looking at the monitor screen now. But that pink area is fresh skin, soft and smooth. It's just pink because it's fresh. All of the scarring is gone. All of the peeling is gone. I basically have hands again. And I'm not going to lie, I got a little bit emotional about that when that happened. I feel like I can actually really be a successful magician again. I have hands. And that just took a phone call. Every one of the goals on my list and every one of the goals on your list are the same. They just take doing something. And then most of the time, I'm always talking myself out of things, and they're never quite as hard as you actually think they are until you go out and do them and find out they're easier than you think. I'm trying to remind myself of this with embarrassing cheesy signs like the "just do it, don't quit" sign here, and the "a year from now you'll wish you started today," which is cheesy, but it is working, it's keeping me going. I'll also show you the one in my bedroom, which is the first thing I see in the morning. I've just got to do some very subtle editing on it for YouTube. So, if you have goals that you think are unachievable, just do it, man. Let this channel inspire you, let this channel give you the information if it's about magic that your goals are based on. Join the Facebook group if you want to hang out with a friendly magic group that's discussing everything from weight loss to stagecraft to anything, any goal you could possibly imagine. Join the group as long as you can keep it friendly in there. That's enough waffling about that for now. Let's go check out the poster in my bedroom that I see first thing in the morning, check out the goals week for the list, and get on with Wayne's interview. After the interview, come back. We're going to be doing our second set of trick reviews on the channel. This week I will be reviewing Instachips by Macrow Magic and Transfer/Merge/Surge by James Keatley and Chris James. Let's go. So, hey again, folks. Here we are today with, he needs no introduction, Mr. Wayne Goodman. How you doing, Wayne?
How are we?
Not good, not bad, not bad. We got you here for a specific reason, because that is this channel. I'm not going to ask you your origin story. I don't want to know how you got into magic or what magic kit you got when you were 8. You are here for one particular reason. And that one particular reason... Oh, God, he's being funny already. Be careful, folks. I didn't put a health warning at the beginning of the video. My apologies. We're here to discuss this book because in my introductory episode, I did briefly mention it, but I didn't really go into it in detail. And I thought I might well let you talk about it for yourself. So I brought it up because it kind of helped me when I was setting up this channel. I was spending a good couple of weeks before I actually started the first video going totally sure that I was ready to do it on the night, and I wake up in the morning going, oh, this is a stupid idea. And it took me a long time to get going. And this book, along with the other books that I constantly recommend, Unfuck Yourself, is what got me through it. So, why did you write? Ugh, my God, English words from mouth. Why did you write it, Wayne?
This is the most I've ever heard you speak in one go. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's true.
So, a lot of my books, well, almost all of my books, apart from the joke books and the 2 trick books I've done, have all been theory based, and they've always been about working in restaurants, working at weddings, hecklers, comparing, that kind of thing. But there was a common theme in all of those books, on different, say, body language pops up a lot in them, eye contact, things like that, and confidence. So it's a mainstay of a lot of my books, and theory books have been about confidence. And I spoke to a few people who have got all of my books, and people that I trust to read my books and give me feedback on them. And they were saying things like, you should really expand these chapters into its own book, because the content is great, but maybe not enough. It would be good to have a more in-depth look into the subject of self-confidence. So I went online to Amazon, I bought a couple of confidence books, and I found that, like a lot of these kind of style of books, they're just full of fluff and filler, and they talk a good talk, but they don't really teach you anything, or give you advice in any direction on how to actually implement these ideas that they have. You can be a better person, or you can have more confidence for doing this, but then it doesn't tell you how to actually do that thing. So
yeah, more than a few of those myself.
Yeah, and they sound great when you read the description on the back of the book, and it goes, oh, we're going to build your confidence, we're going to get you doing this, you can be a public speaker, you can be more confident with women, you can do this, you can do that. And then you go through, and it's just rubbish, which is really sad, really, because a lot of people, especially with confidence, a lot of people want to be more confident. They want to be able to be a bit more assertive, or be able to stand up and speak in front of other people. They might want, there's a million reasons why you might want to be more confident. You might just want to be able to walk up to a group of people in the pub, your own friends really, and just be a bit more confident when you're talking to them. So I decided to sit down, and over the course of, it was quite a long time I spent writing it. But over the course of a few weeks to begin with, I wrote down all the things that I wanted to talk about. I went through the other books. I took all the bits that I thought were relevant and the most important aspects of being more confident, and I wrote a chapter headings for each one. And then I started the process of writing out each chapter. And a lot of the times I would write out something and think, that's great, but that's not what I do. that's not how I overcome that issue, or that's not how I do. And so I would look at it and I would weigh up whether what I personally do was more right, or what came to my brain as the way I would teach it to somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes, so some of the things in here are things that I actually do or have done, and some of them are my theories on the best ways to do those sort of things. But by and large, everyone's loved the book. It's been a great success. People, not just magicians either, although it's aimed at magicians, so it's a book for magicians, or for performers, I should say. Um, it the techniques and the ideas and the concepts and the theories that I have in here are relevant to everybody. So, you know, if you've read the book, or you get in the book and you go, do you know what, my brother, he could do with a book like this, he will probably get something out of this, even though he's not a performer. And that was the other thing that I wanted to be important, was that this is a book that anybody could pick up. You know, my daughter could pick it up and read it, and it would give her more confidence.
And
So yeah.
also magicians, but not necessarily for magic, like me, because that put me in front of an audience, close up or on stage, and I'm fine, absolutely fine. But the YouTube thing took a lot of getting used to. That's an entirely different thing. So even for magicians, but on a different aspect of their life, maybe it's useful as well.
A lot of magicians have a lot of trouble with, like wedding fairs, for instance. That they're great in front of a, you know, when they're working the tables, or they're great when they've got a crowd around them, but they don't know how to talk to the clients on a one-to-one, face-to-face level. Maybe they're okay doing it over the computer or on a phone, but face-to-face, when they're bombarding you with questions, you know, that can be a bit intimidating. So yeah, I mean, there's ideas here that are going to help you in all aspects of it. The other thing that I'm very proud of, and publicly, I have thanked him for this many, many times. I saw him a few weeks ago in London. Me and my girlfriend went to see Oliver, and he was playing Fagin. And of course, Simon Lipkin wrote the foreword for this, and it was 1,000 times more than I could have hoped for when I asked him to do it. I was hoping it wasn't just going to be a very short paragraph on confidence, and he really did go above and beyond and write a great foreword for the book. And I don't think at the moment there's anyone better than Simon Lipkin to kind of promote something like this, because, you know, he is a huge megastar. So thank you, Simon, for doing that for me as well.
Yeah,
I
thank
haven't
you,
sent him a
Simon.
copy of
Very
the book
nice
yet.
man.
He is a very nice man, isn't he?
Please remember that, Simon, if you see this, because I'm coming for you soon for an interview.
I think he's in New York at the moment. I think I saw
Yeah,
today he's in
details.
New York.
So what's in the book, Wayne? Give us some practical examples. It's a practical book. Give us an idea what we're going to get in there.
Okay, so there's things like, first of all, I dissect what is confidence, and I talk about, you know, what is confidence and what it should mean to you, and how, you know, you can tap into that and what you need it for. Why is confidence important? And then well, one of the first chapters, actually, on page 15, page 23, sorry, is learn to center yourself. Now, when I was at school, I think if I went to school now, I would be diagnosed with ADHD, as in, you know, I'm always and very hyperactive. I mean, back at school, when I was a kid at school, I was hyperactive. Now, I don't necessarily want to go down that I believe that I would be ADHD, but it's sort of like, I think that people would think that of me, because I was very energetic, and I was always here, going here, there, and everywhere. I was off the walls, and always very excitable, and always doing stuff. But a friend of mine who was very quiet and calm, he taught me how to center myself, and how to basically ground myself, so that, you know, I can save or take in what is happening in the moment. So, for instance, when I'm on stage, in my early days on stage, I would often miss things that I could use or incorporate into my act, because I would be so far ahead in my head that, but if something would happen here, I wouldn't be able to do that, because I've missed it, and my
Yeah.
brain couldn't come back to it. But by learning to center myself, I can still be a bit madcap. I can still be funny. I can still be that crazy guy, but I'm also in the moment, so that I can, you know, when something does happen, which is where I think my reputation for being quick-witted and very quick with a remark, etc., comes from, because I can now analyze what's going on, and also be out there, but also be in here. Does that make sense? At the same
Yeah.
time. Now, if you apply that to confidence, let's say I'm very lucky. I've got too much confidence. If someone said to me, "I want you to wear a Dayglow green mankini and try and do a headstand on the stage," yeah, why not? I'll do it. If that's what the show needs, that's what needs to be done. Then yeah, I'll do it. Why not? But not many people have that. So learning to center yourself means being able to be in the moment, do what needs to be done, even though you might be holding back all the fears that you have, even though you might be absolutely terrified. So I've had stage fright twice, a proper stage fright. Once was when I was doing the Full Monty in Spain, and it was the Full Monty with Rodney Piper and Matt Edwards. And I literally was stood behind the curtain and I thought, I can't do this. I can't go out there and strip completely naked in front of a room full of people. This is bonkers.
That's fairly reasonable, Wayne.
I'm a big, yeah, of course. But then in my head, I was able to center myself and calm my nerves, take control of the adrenaline, take control of the voices in my head going, "What are you doing? You're fat." Matt Edwards and Rodney are skinny guys. You're a fat guy. You've got a big belly. Why are you doing this? So I was able to take all that and control it and center myself and go, "It's 2 minutes, 34 seconds. And then it's done. And you can do it because you don't quit." And I went out there and I did it. And it got to the point where I was doing it so often by the end of the summer that one night Rodney phone went, "Can you come in? I need to do the Full Monty." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Not even a thought about it. So, and that's again for confidence, because once I've done it, I knew it was fine. It was a laugh. We wet ourselves laughing, well, not literally. We had a great laugh, laughing at ourselves after, and thought it was hilarious. And it was what it was meant to be. But being able to center yourself is really important. It really means that you could, and probably the most important part of the book, because you're taking control of everything, and you're containing it so that you can do what needs to be done. This is also a technique used by the military. You could be in the middle of a war zone, bombs going off. You're trying to get this one thing done. By learning to center yourself, you can concentrate on what needs to be done and worry about everything else after. This is the only thing that matters at the moment. So from a confidence point of view, this learning to center yourself will give you the ability to step forward, take that microphone, or walk up on that stage, or go up to that table and perform the tricks, or even just introduce yourself. It's going to give you that confidence because you're going to bring yourself into yourself, and the reasoning in your head then takes over, and you're not listening to those demons going, "Oh, you're going to fail. Oh, you're rubbish. They're going to hate you." All those voices that, if you get them, you're not the only one in the world who gets them. Everybody gets them. I still get them. I did a birthday party. I was told that it was for a 10-year-old girl's birthday party, and they said there was going to be 10 kids there, and they're having a nice quiet little party. They've got some music and some games, but I was going to come in. I said, "Well, 10 kids, why don't I come in and teach them a few tricks, like a magic lesson?" Mum said, "That's brilliant." So I turn up, and when I get there, there's about 50, 60 kids there, and they're all dancing to a massive disco. And I literally stood outside, and I was having a real moment. I was having a real panicky moment, and I was thinking, this is going to ruin my career, because I've got nothing here for 50 kids. I've got my stuff for doing a magic lesson with. I'm going to go out there, and all the parents who are sat at the back, very rarely at a 10-year-old party, all the parents stay, but I've got 50, 60 parents at the back of the room watching, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to die on stage here, terribly badly die. And my reputation is going to be in tatters, because people are going, "Oh, Wayne Goodman, yeah, we saw him. He was awful. He didn't know what he was doing." And I was outside, and I physically had to stop myself and go, "What are you doing? Right? What are you doing? Why are you panicking about this? They're a bunch of kids. They love magic, or they will do. Go in there and do what you do." And by centering myself and clouding out everything else, and look, I'm already there. I can't go home because it's too far. So whatever I've got in the car is what I've got. So rather than concentrating on the problem, think about what you're going to do and create a solution for it. Now, if I panic, if I let those emotions overcrowd me, then I'm going to go out there and make a complete tool of myself. Instead, I center myself, I concentrate on what needs to be done. I go, right, what have I got in the car that I can use? Okay, there's some rope in there. Right, cut me stored rope. Professor Nightmare. Can make that up quick. Boom. What else have I got? Pack of cards. Right, I can do cards across with them. What else have I got? Boom, boom. And when I went out there and I went in and I had sponge bowls, I could do a bit of fancy behind the ears and all that kind of stuff. So when I actually went up in front of the kids and I took over and the music went off, and I said, right, everyone come and sit down. They all came and sat down, and it was within 2 or 3 minutes of me starting, every kid was loving it. All the adults were loving it. Again, I'd relaxed into the mode, so the jokes were coming out. I was taking the mickey out of the adults, and I had one of my favourite shows today. It was amazing, and they were brilliant, and the kids were the best ever. So by centering myself and taking control of myself in that moment, I was then able to present the show that needed to be done, even though I hadn't got the show that I wanted to have with me. So does that all kind of make sense? Does that come together?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, other things in here, you've got the power of practice, which is a great tool for us. This is aimed at performers, really, but well, not necessarily. I mean, if you're a public speaker, you can talk to a camera, you can talk to a mirror. You know, practicing is a great tool for getting over the nerves. A lot of the times, when especially magicians, they worry about messing up the move or messing up the bit that needs misdirection. So by practicing and practicing and practicing, you can get it really smooth and you don't have to worry about it. So that's another section here. Again, these go to a lot of depth into them. Yeah. One of my favourite chapters in here, though, well, there's two actually. One is the magic of failure, which is a great chapter. I don't think it's a very long chapter. No, it's about 10 pages long. It's a great chapter, and it talks about accepting failure and learning from it, and using failure to become a better performer, and not being scared to allow things to go wrong when they go wrong. Some of my greatest memories on stage have occurred from when things go wrong. I told this story a couple of weeks ago. I did the CCC convention for Chris Congreve, and I told this story during my lecture about I was at the Deception convention in Liverpool, John T. Sparrow, and he'd asked me to do a show. So I got up and I had everyone sat there, everyone was on chairs, and I was doing the show. And I have a joke, I don't do it anymore, but I had a joke in my show where I'd say, my fat epileptic brother needs to lose weight. So I put a strobe light in his bedroom. And there was a moment in my head when the whole thing just froze. And I saw Chris Congreve, and at the time I was a lot bigger, he was a lot bigger as well. We both had similar kind of bushy hair. And people used to go, "You two brothers?" And so I thought I might as well lead into this and use it. So he said, I said, my fat epileptic brother needs to lose weight. I went, "Oh," and I went, "You all know Congy, don't you?" And everyone laughed. And they all looked at him and he went, "Rrr." And as he went "Rrr," like that, the chair underneath him broke and he fell onto the floor. And it couldn't have been more perfectly timed. It couldn't have been set up that way, because it would never have worked on time. The chair would just collapse. For some reason, the chair he was sat on just literally and he went onto the floor. And it was hilarious and completely stole the show. It was the best moment ever. So rather than panicking about something going wrong, I let into it. I got everyone laughing. It was a great moment. And I was able to carry on with the show. And it looked like it was part of the show when it couldn't have possibly been. So, yeah, sometimes when things go wrong, they go right. And sometimes things go wrong and you can't correct them, but you can, pardon me, you can use them or you can learn from them. And again, if you learn from them or if you learn to use them, some of my best gags have come from ad libs that I've used on stage. So my show's got better. That in turn builds my confidence. So if you can learn from mistakes, or you can learn to use them in your show, or you can learn to make use of them in that moment, then that builds your confidence. And instead of being scared of something going wrong, you can actually, if something does happen, you can be prepared for it and you can utilize it or make fun of it, or even just laugh at yourself, which is, always a great way of, taking something bad and turning it into something that's good. I'll tell you this one very quickly. I don't tell this story very often. I was in Spain when I lived in Spain at House of Illusion. I had a card sword. I used to collect swords. Had a card sword, and the only time I ever used it, and the cards shot out of the card fountain, and I lunged with the sword, and when all the cards fell down, I'm still like this with the sword here, and there's no card on the end of the sword. I'd released it, but it hadn't come out of the secret compartment, and then all of a sudden it popped out of the hilt, and with the elastic bit on it, it landed on the blade, and there was something wrong with the elastic, and it kind of walked down the blade and then jumped on the end. And again, it never did it again, and you could never get it to do it again. But I got the biggest laugh, and everyone thought it was part of the show. So rather than panicking in that moment, I was going to make a joke out of it. Then that happened, and it was funny as it is. So by me having confidence, I knew I could deal with the situation. As it happened, I didn't really need to. But yeah, it's all about that, having that confidence to do that in the first place, allowing that moment to happen, and not some people that would have happened and would have instantly thrown the sword away and tried to move on. Whereas I would have leant into it and made a joke out of it and still got a laugh because I've got the confidence to do that. But you only get that kind of confidence from going through failure. So the magic of failure is really important. The other
So
chapter,
you were there at Rubery when I went through the same thing, and that entire ad hoc mentalism act that I put together completely failed. I just turned into Amazing Jonathan halfway through and just started to make it look like it was on purpose.
but it worked though, and in the moment for that audience, and they got something really special. They got something that nobody will ever see again, you know. And but your confidence enabled you to do that. Whereas if you hadn't got that self confidence there, you might have panicked. Or I've seen it. I've seen it before in other kinds of shows where a performer something's happened and they've run off stage upset. I saw it on a ship once. One of the acts was dying. He was a comedian. He was dying, and he just went, "I give up," and just walked off the stage. And it was like, "What are you doing, man? You turn it into it. You lean into it." You know, he obviously hadn't got the self confidence to fight a little bit harder and really pull it back again. You know, Jack D, when he started out, he used to have a puppet called Muffy, or Mitzi. Mitzi it was called, this puppet, little dog puppet. And it did rubbish, absolute rubbish act. And he used to go holiday parks and that. He had this little Mitzi dog, and he would do all these jokes, and it was rubbish. It was really bad. And then one night he was in a really foul mood, and he just went out on stage without the puppet, and was just in a really foul mood and just ranted at the audience and brought the house down. And that's where his character was born. So by leaning into the failure, in this case, he just had enough and he was going to give up. And they went, "No, you've got to go out there, you're booked, you get out there and do your act." And he was in a really foul mood, so he went out there that way. And it turned him into a celebrity. A really interesting fact, on Netflix, there's a Lee Evans, it's a 40-minute segment from his show. And at the end of it, as he comes off stage, Jack D meets him at the stage door and he goes, "Can me and Mitzi have a go?" And he goes, "Yeah, knock yourself out." And it's Jack kind of doing a bit of satirical bit of himself with the puppet. He goes, "Oh, come here, Mitzi, have a go." And then to fling it all full 360 at the end of Jack D's first live video, what used to be a video with DVD and etc. now, and then became well, probably we can't even get them anymore. But his first video that you could buy of his first live show, at the end he comes off stage and again meets himself with Mitzi, and he goes, "Ah, that was great, Jack. Come here, Mitzi, have a go." And he goes, "Oh," off and walks off, which is another return to the Lee Evans one and also to himself. But yeah, by having that failure or that, you know, that inability, he moved it round and made it into something really, really amazing. The other chapter, very quickly, that for me, again, not a very big chapter really, but it's one of my favourite chapters and was really the first chapter I wrote in the book, even before the building the confidence and the centering yourself. This was the one that most people ask me about at lectures and when I'm at conventions, and it comes under two names. Most people call it stage fright, but a lot of people call it imposter syndrome, and or stage anxiety, performance anxiety. And that chapter is really, really important as well. And it's one that I spent a long time thinking about how I wanted to implement it and how I want to talk about it. And it was a difficult chapter to write. For me, it was very, very interesting, but it is very difficult because what I might experience as stage fright could be a million miles away from what you experience or what they experience or what they experience. So everybody's experience with stage fright is different. And I wanted something that was going to be really inclusive of everybody. And I hope I've done it. A lot of people said they got a lot out of that chapter, which really means a lot to me. But it is one of those things that I want it to be inclusive. So when you read it, you can go, okay, I get that. Okay, I can use that. Or okay, that's really interesting. I can see now, if I shift my mindset a little tiny bit, I can do that, which is essentially the whole book. It's all just a change in your mindset. But hopefully, this will take you through that and help you to make that change so that you can actually do those things and you can build up your self confidence. So, like me with the full Monty, the first time I did it, I was ready to quit and go home. By the end of the season, I didn't even think twice about it. It was literally part of what I did every week, and nothing to be concerned or worried about. Just get up and do it. And it's that dynamic shift from one's phase to the other, and it's all just a mindset switch. And that this book hopefully will show you how to do that.
Okay, cool. Then I've got a couple of quick things to ask you, but before we
Of
get to
course.
that, where can people buy the book?
So it's available from myself at wgmagicshop.com. So WG for Wayne Goodman, wgmagicshop.com. And it's available on the website under Fearless or Fearless.
I'll
Um,
put that I'll put that down in the details below as well in the description.
I will very quickly say though, if anybody orders the book,
Mhm.
I have got stock here and it will be sent out, but I am away for a week. So from Monday, so from the 21st to the 25th, I will be away. But any orders that come in, if they come in before Saturday, then they'll go out Saturday. But then Bank Holiday Monday, and then I'm away. So it will be the following Monday before they go out.
I've got two non-book things to talk about briefly, and then I'm going to wrap it up. One of them just popped up in conversation while you were talking to me. I've got a few other magicians lined up later to do a mini interviewette about weight loss. And as you were talking, you mentioned that you were bigger and you got smaller. It didn't even occur to me to pick you for that one. So I'm just wondering how you went about it. What's your methods?
Just healthy eating, and I've got a daughter, and um, so a couple of years ago, I was 20 stone, 20, 21 stone. I was a lot bigger. My trousers were 4 inches bigger. And it was a very unhealthy lifestyle, really. Lots of takeaways, lots of late night eating, lots of drinking for no purpose as well. So not just alcoholic, but even just like, I don't, I could sit down of an evening with a movie and go through a 2 litre bottle of like Pepsi Max or whatever. And it's just not healthy and it's not good for you. So by cutting out the biscuits and the sweets, I've always got plenty of exercise because I do kid shows. So I'm always jumping around and doing stuff. I bought some new jeans about probably about a month ago, and they're already too big for me. So I'm still losing weight now. I'm down to 16 stone now, which I'm really pleased with. And I'm always coming off, and I'm not so fat anymore. It's quite nice. But yeah, it's just healthy eating. I do a lot more of my own cooking now. I like to cook. I like to throw some stuff in a pan and cook it up and have adventures making stuff. And yeah, it's nice. So I don't eat a lot of cakes. I don't eat a lot of sweet things. I love sweet stuff, but I still
That
have
was my weakness.
yeah. Well, like I was at my girlfriend's tonight. We had tiramisu. It was delicious. Her mum made it. It was absolutely delicious. But before I'd get one of those big family pack built for four tiramisus and I'd eat it myself. Now I'm more than happy just to have a scoop in a bowl and enjoy that. I don't need the full thing. So by cutting down on that kind of stuff, it's just healthier eating really. If I'm going to have something, if I'm going to have a quiche, I might get a broccoli one or something like that. So it's got a bit of vegetables in it. If I'm cooking something rather than frying up some chips, I'll if I'm going to do chips, like me and my daughter, I'll stick them in the air fryer. But if I'm going to cook something, I'd rather cook some vegetables and some potatoes with it instead. And it's just simple little changes like that. It doesn't have to be massive changes. And then I like to go for walks. So I often get up early in the morning because I can't sleep. I'll get up and go for 3, 4, 5, 6 mile walk. Just walk around the town. Where I live is beautiful. We've got horses and hills and stuff, so I can walk around for a few hours and put an audiobook on and just listen to that and walk around. It's quite good fun. And yeah, just get out rather than just lounging around the house. Get out and do something. Get out and get some exercise.
Would you agree with me that you can actually feel the benefit on stage as well? It's clearly you can do your show better when you lost weight. Yes,
Yeah, I think,
magic.
I've always been very energetic. I remember doing a lecture once, And I did my opening routine, and the guy went, "Are you always that energetic?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Which is why when I say I'm shattered after a show, I am, because I give it everything.
Hmm.
But I have found myself now not being so shattered, and I've got more stamina, more energy. Um, yeah, it's quite nice. It doesn't. I don't come off stage and go, "Oh, my back hurts." Like, my shoulder hurts at the moment actually, but "Oh, my back hurts," or "Oh, I need to sit down every 5 minutes." I'm much more comfortable in myself. Not having so much weight on me is a big help, because if you're lumbering around and you're lumbering weight around with you, it is going to wear you out. And
Yeah.
quickly. So yeah, it has had a definite impact on that. And I think I look better on stage now as well. My suits fit better. I stand up there, I feel more confident, because I think I look nicer, rather than like that. I stand up. I always stand up straight anyway, but I stand up straight. I'm broad shouldered, and I can stand with confidence and presence and controlling. And "Hello everybody, how are we doing?" And it's really nice to be like that and not be trying to pull my jacket in every 2 seconds, because I don't want my belly to be sticking right out.
Yeah.
I'm the epitome as well of, "Oh, I'm never going to lose weight. Oh, I'm going to be fat forever." I've got 500 jokes about myself being fat. That I'm gradually finding myself, "Well, actually, I can't really say that anymore, because I don't." My favourite one is, "I have a body like a dropped lasagna." I lock myself to sleep getting up in the morning, which are great gags, and I like the self-deprecation humour. I'm not very good at it, but nice one. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, but not being so fat, and yeah, I do feel a lot better. I'll keep on track. Yeah,
Cool. Last thing before the wrap up, you are still doing your Newmarket Day this year? You want to
I
tell us
am
about that?
Newmarket Shindig.
Yeah. When's that?
It is the Friday the 7th, Saturday the 8th, and Sunday the 9th of November. The actual shindig is on the Saturday, but people come down on the Friday. We meet up in the evening. I put on a little spread at a local cafe, and people can come along and have some food. We session. I might do a small lecturette that night. I'm not sure yet. Sometimes we just session and jam. Sometimes we have something going on there. Saturday we've got 4 lectures, or 3 if I put one on the Friday night. We've got Craig Petty, we've got John Morton, and we've got Chris Congreve, and we've got a fourth lecturer who isn't announced. We're not announcing just yet. We've got some dealers, and we've got plenty of time to session and jam as well. And the Sunday, everyone who stays over the Saturday night, we all meet for breakfast. We go to a local pub, and we all just go and have breakfast together. It's quite nice.
Excellent. I was double booked the first time. My car died the second time. I am there this year. It's happening.
You were
Right.
missed. You were missed. It was a good one last year. This year's going to be bigger and better. I really can't wait for it.
Cool. Well, thanks for your time, Wayne. Just to wrap up completely, we've got Fearless. We know where to get that. On the site, you've got other theory books. You've got a wedding fair one. You have a stagecraft one. You have your joke books.
So I've got 6 joke books. With the exception of the wedding book and Fearless, they're all available as PDFs. So when I say that, if you make an order, it won't be fulfilled until about the 28th, that's only on the physical items. If you buy a download or a PDF, that will be instant. You should get an email straight away. But I've got the Expert at the Restaurant Table, which is about working in restaurants and getting residencies. I've got Weddings I Do, which is all about performing and getting gigs at weddings, including wedding fairs, doing the gig, tricks of the bride and groom, that kind of thing. I've got Maximus Primer, which is one of my favourite books, which is about stagecraft and presentation. I've got Parabellum, which is about dealing with hecklers. And it's not a book of put downs, it's a psychological analysis of why people heckle and the best ways to deal with it. I've got Go Compare, which is about being a compare. And there's a few more on there as well. I can't remember. The Jedi Philosophy. I've got there's a few books on there. As well as that, there's 6 joke books, and two books on tricks, remote control and remote control 2. Quite a lot
Cool.
going in.
It is. Right. Well, folks, I strongly recommend this one. I enjoyed this. If I had to come up with any cons at all, you're going to read the word confidence so many times, your brain's going to think it's saying it's wrong. But other than that, great read. Uh, probably going to come back to you a few times, Wayne, because of the goal. I don't know if you've seen the goals list that I'm doing. There's lots of things that are relevant with your book. So, for example, when I'm doing a little bit on my recreating my cabaret show, I might read your stagecraft book and come back to you for that one.
Of
When
course.
I'm doing wedding fairs, I might come back to you for the weddings I do. And when I'm trying to increase the humour in my show, I'll probably interview Alan Hudson, to be honest, mate.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I'm not going
Yeah,
to take
do
any
you
more
do
of your
this one
time,
when you
mate.
go down the stairs?
I've managed a good half an hour with only a few of your painful gags, so I think we'll let you go before
Mate,
they happen.
people love the jokes. They do love them. Yeah, we should do one on comedy as well. We should do one on comedy because I've got some theories about that as well. So I've never done a book on comedy yet. I've started writing a book on comedy about 20 times, and I always shelve it just because it gets too much. But I have got an idea how I think I'm going to structure it. So that may well be book number 20. Book number 19 is already half written. I'm not talking about that yet, but book number 20 may well be a comedy book.
Cool. Not going to talk about that one a little bit. No, I'm going to try it. Okay, number 19. I'm curious
We'll
now.
come back to it maybe later on in the year. We can come back to it, but at the moment it's very specialist, very, very specialist, and it's something I want to announce and put out there. I think it will be a big help to a lot of people, but at the moment there's never been a book like it. So yeah,
Fair enough. Had to try. Okay. Wayne, thanks a lot for popping in and talking to us. I think you've got some good information for the guys there. I'll let you back. Enjoy the rest of your night, mate. Thanks a lot.
thanks very much. Thank you all, and yeah, good luck with the channel.
Cheers.
My friend, I have 3 poker chips, yeah? Take hold of them. What I'd like you to do is place any one into my hand when I turn around. Just don't tell me which colour, please. Close your hand nice and tight. Now you can lie or tell the truth, okay? But we'll do that bit afterwards, you see, because always my pink personality comes through. You gave me the pink one, yeah? So we'll do it again, and like I say, you can lie or tell the truth. Let's do it again. Okay? Now you can lie, my friend, or tell the truth. What colour poker chip did you just give to me? The green. Now I know your parents brought you up better than that, okay? Not to lie, you gave me the white. So take the white poker chip, open your hand, thank you. Take the green, take the... Now we're going to play that game. And it's not naked attraction, it's the other one she used to host. Traitors, you don't want to see me naked, trust me, right? Traitors, you 3 are the traitors. I'm going to turn around, decide amongst yourselves who will give me the poker chip. Close your hands, I'm coming back around. I'm going to ask all 3 of you the same question, but you can lie or tell the truth. Did you give me the poker chip? Did you give me the poker chip? And did you give me the poker chip? I'm afraid, sir, that you are the traitor. Go home. And that is Instachips Macrow Magic. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
That was Instachips by Macrow Magic. You've seen the routine. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that there's obviously some way of identifying which spectator gets which chip. Right. I had a really good time at Blackpool this year, but product-wise, walking around the dealer stand, I didn't find much particularly of appeal to my taste. It was probably one of the favourite things that I bought, and it was about 30 quid, I think, something like that. I'll put the links down below to... oh no, I can't put the links down below. That's one of the cons. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, 3 chips, hand out to 3 spectators. Without looking at them, I mean, they can hand you one, you know which one it is. But the method is deceptive enough that they're not going to find it in the time that they're looking after it. Their first instincts are going to be weight, or size, or surface around the edges, something like that. These 3 chips, and a very cursory examination, are identical apart from the colour. The method is very, very clever, very, very subtle, and extremely easy to feel, and they put the chip in your hand. It's a surefire method. I usually use this as an introduction to a lie detection routine where I go on from here to use Murphy's and Verdi dice trio. But I think this is a great introduction, a really simple trick, and it's 3 poker chips in your pocket, in a ticket pocket of my jeans in my case. Pros, good price, good routine, good method. Cons, as far as I'm aware, literally the only way to get these is to find Stephen Macrow on Facebook, message him and ask him to sell them to you. There's no website, there's no location where you can get them. I'd still strongly recommend this. They also come with with some spare chips that don't have the necessary work in, so that you can switch them out should you feel the need. But never felt the need. It's completely pointless. There's not much else to say about these, but that is Instachips by Macrow Magic, and it gets a strong recommendation from me.
I'm going to show you a card trick. I've got a black card and a green card. Which one do you want the magic to happen with, mate?
Let's go green.
Green. If I put the green card here, take the black card. Apple have just done this new update. If you open up your camera and take a photo of the card and open up the photo, you can use the new cleanup tool. So what we can do is we can zoom in and highlight the chip, and it vanishes. But if it vanishes here, it vanishes here as well. It's really weird, and it ends up on the green card.
You know, sometimes when you go to pay and you tap, the card doesn't work. Well, Apple have fixed the problem. It's a problem with the signal with the chip. If you open up your camera phone, take a photo of the card and open up the last photo, you can make the chip grow in size. What happens is if it grows here as well. Now you can tap and pay and all is okay.
That was Transfer or Surge or Merge from James Keatley and Chris James. I believe the transfer routine, where chips travel from one card to the other in various ways, is James Keatley's work. The growing of the chip on your card is Chris James, and Merge is a combination pack, adding little extra things like the mini card and the stretched cards. They work together to combine the two and come up with a pack. I'm going to have to break the illusion of video editing now. I don't know what I've performed with these when I'm out, because I haven't done that yet. I'm doing that after I finish the filming. So look, this is what you get with the Merge pack. There's all sorts. You've got stretch cards where you can stretch the chip out. You have the ones that I've probably shown you where one chip comes off one card and appears on the other. The chip on your card grows really big. There's replacement cards. There's switch out cards so that you can hand out the cards for examination. It is a well thought out pack, designed to be used creatively, really. You can put together all sorts of routines that you like with these. It's just a matter of routing them in the order that you like and finding a way to move from one to the other. And Chris James in particular, I remember putting on Instagram, I think, a ridiculously good performance of this that looks like camera tricks. I'd go and look that up. It's a reasonably priced pack. I don't quite remember. I think I paid $65 for it at Blackpool, but I'll put the links to Jack Magic, James Keatley Magic, in the description below. And I'll also include the name of whatever routine I actually end up performing down there. But it's these are really well made. And I've had some credit card tricks that I gaffed in the past, and in my head it doesn't really work. So you're using your credit cards and it just feels like a prop. But something about these doesn't feel quite that way. There's routines with just the cards, and much nicer the routines where you can take a photo of the cards. Like for example, there's two routines in here where you can take a photo of the chip on a card, erase it with the eraser tool on your phone, and then when you remove the card which you've been holding under the phone, the chip is gone. The same for the stretching. You can stretch the image out on your phone, reveal the card has grown. I think that's the nicest way to do those routines. This couldn't get a stronger recommendation from me. And also the replacement cards go on the other side of my Orphic wallet, so I can cover everything looks normal on both sides of my Orphic wallet. That helps as well, and I can access all of these routines. Oh, it's cute. It's cute and diddy. Okay, that was Transfer / Surge and the pack together Merge from James Keatley and Chris James. I'm going to go off and it's Easter Sunday, and I'm going to a park right now to try and find someone to perform these two, because everywhere is closed and I am disorganised. But again, strongest recommendation, links in the description below. If you like it, go buy it. That's it for this week, folks. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching the video, hitting that subscribe button right there and filling the comment section with questions, comments, suggestions, anything you want, so that I know that you are there and watching. You can hit that like button as well. I'll catch you again next week. I've got an excellent interview lined up for you next week, and we'll check in on the second session of my practice, where I learn to love practicing again by torturing myself with the ninja rings. See you next week.